A man wakes up in the morning. He goes to work. He spends 8 hours doing something that means absolutely nothing to him. He comes back home. He watches TV. He goes to sleep. The next day, the same routine. Every day, the same. For years, for decades. Tell me, is this man alive or is he already dead? Nietzsche answers, this man is a living corpse. This is what Nietzsche calls the last man, the final human being, the man who has abandoned all heights of life and desires nothing except comfort. Friends, today we enter part 4 of the Science of Happiness, where Nietzsche speaks about the greatest disease of modern civilization, meaninglessness. This may be the most important part of all, because it is about today's world, about modern man, about us. Nietzsche's fundamental question is this: why does modern man feel so empty? We have more technology than ever before, more comfort than ever before, more entertainment than ever before. And yet, why are we more depressed than ever? Nietzsche's answer is clear and brutal. Because we have lost meaning, we have lost purpose, we have lost struggle, and a human being cannot live without meaning. Existential psychology confirms this. Viktor Frankl, in Logotherapy, showed that the primary human need is not happiness, not pleasure, but meaning. Those who lack meaning fall into what he called the existential vacuum, a deep inner emptiness, a sense of meaninglessness, and eventually depression. The World Health Organization reports that depression is increasing worldwide, especially in developed countries. Why? Nietzsche answers, because those societies have material comfort but no spiritual meaning. Nietzsche says, look at how modern man lives. He wants to be safe, he wants to be comfortable, he wants to be entertained, but he does not want to be challenged. He does not want to be asked to sacrifice. He does not want to fight for anything greater than himself. Nietzsche calls this human being the last man, the final human, the one who has abandoned all great dreams, all noble ambitions, and searches only for small pleasures. His greatest desire is simple. We want to be happy. We want to be comfortable. What are the characteristics of the last man? Nietzsche says he avoids risk, he rejects adventure, he refuses to suffer for anything meaningful. He works his job, takes his salary, consumes entertainment, and goes to sleep. No passion, no mission, no vision. Psychology calls this hedonic adaptation and meaninglessness. When people chase only comfort and pleasure, they step onto a treadmill. Everything quickly becomes boring, so they chase the next pleasure. And then that becomes boring too. And this cycle never ends. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, in his research on flow, proved something crucial. True happiness is found in challenge, not ease. When work is too easy, boredom appears. When work is too difficult, anxiety appears. But when work is difficult yet possible, flow appears. And flow is the deepest form of happiness. Nietzsche says, modern civilization is making human beings weaker. Everything has been made easier. Every challenge has been removed, and this does not make humans happy, it makes them depressed. Now Nietzsche raises another crucial idea, nihilism. He says, the greatest disease of the modern age is nihilism, the belief that nothing has meaning, nothing matters, everything is pointless. Where does nihilism come from? Nietzsche explains, when old meanings collapse and no new meanings are created, nihilism emerges. For centuries in Europe, Christianity provided meaning. People knew why they lived, for God, for salvation, for the afterlife. Then came the Enlightenment, science, rationalism, and people began to lose faith in religion. But science did not replace meaning. Science explained how the universe works, but it did not explain why we should live. It provides means, not ends. It tells us how, not why. So if neither religion nor science provides meaning, where will meaning come from? Nietzsche's answer is terrifying. We must create it ourselves. There is no ready-made meaning, no instruction manual. We must decide our purpose on our own. This is the foundation of existentialism. Jean-Paul Sartre said, "Existence precedes essence. We exist first, then we create who we are." There is no predetermined human nature. We create our nature ourselves. Nietzsche says, this is terrifying, but it is also freedom. We are free to create our own purpose. Now Nietzsche addresses another major problem, herd mentality. He says, modern humans are becoming increasingly conformist. They think the same, dress the same, dream the same dreams. Why? Because freedom is frightening. Creating your own values is difficult, so people join the herd. They say, if everyone is doing this, I will do it too. Social psychology calls this conformity. Solomon Asch in his experiments showed that people will give obviously wrong answers just to avoid social rejection. People fear rejection so deeply that they stop trusting their own eyes. Nietzsche says, living in the herd is easy. You don't have to think. You don't have to decide. You don't have to take responsibility. But the cost is enormous. You lose your individuality. Modern democracy and mass culture strengthen herd mentality. Everyone wants to be average. No one wants to be exceptional. Gustave Le Bon showed in The Crowd that individuals become less intelligent in large groups, more emotional, less rational. Nietzsche says, leave the herd, create your own path. Do not fear being different. Now Nietzsche criticizes modern education. He asks, what does real education do? It does not teach people to think, it teaches them to obey. It does not create creators, it creates producers. Schools tell children, sit down, be quiet, do what you're told. Creativity is suppressed, curiosity is killed, individuality is erased. Educational psychology supports this. Sir Ken Robinson said schools kill creativity. Carol Dweck showed that when children are taught only for grades, their intrinsic motivation disappears. Nietzsche asks, what is real education? Real education teaches people to think, to question, to create their own values. Modern education does not do this. Now Nietzsche speaks about modern work culture. People spend the best years of their lives doing jobs that mean nothing to them. Why? For money. Nietzsche asks, is money enough? Is this the purpose of life? People say, when I make enough money, then I'll do what I love. But that day never comes. Research on the meaning of work shows people with meaningful work are happier, even with lower salaries. People with meaningless work are less happy, even with higher salaries. David Graeber called many modern jobs bullshit jobs. People know their work is useless, yet they continue. This is spiritual death. Nietzsche says, turn your work into a calling, not just a job. Now Nietzsche addresses entertainment and distraction. Modern humans are afraid of silence, afraid of solitude, afraid of their own thoughts. So they drown themselves in entertainment, TV, movies, social media, video games. Blaise Pascal wrote, all human misery comes from one cause, our inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Modern psychology confirms, constant distraction damages mental health. Nicholas Carr showed how the internet destroys deep thinking. Cal Newport showed that deep, focused work leads to greater happiness. Nietzsche says, you cannot escape yourself. You must face yourself. Sit in silence. Listen to your thoughts. It is painful, but necessary. Mindfulness research confirms this. Those who sit in silence experience better mental health and reduced stress. Nietzsche says, when you are constantly distracted, you are not living your life, you are running from it. Modern society has turned humans into consumers. Identity is measured by what you buy, not what you create. Consumerism is silent nihilism. Objects promise fulfillment, but deliver emptiness. Nietzsche warns, when humans measure their worth by things, they themselves become things. This is the most dangerous slavery of all. Finally, Nietzsche offers guidance. Leave the herd. Abandon meaningless work. Reduce distraction. Create daily. Stop comparing. Seek real education. Find a higher purpose. Leave comfort behind. Spend time alone. Practice amor fati. Love your fate. Nietzsche says, this path is not easy. Being the last man is easy. Losing yourself in comfort is easy. But real life exists only on the difficult path, where danger exists.